What's up? So we did it, y'all. We finally managed to bully SZA into dropping Lana SOS Deluxe. It was looking real rough for a while. It was looking real rough, but but we finally managed to get here. So yeah, I want to come on here and give a little album review and see if it was worth the hype, if it was worth the wait. Talk a little bit about a few of the songs, the sonics of the project. But yeah, if you'd like to see that, keep on watching. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Hayes. Let's get right into this. So Lana was released on December 20th, 2024, and I want to start right here by saying, although it has been like a year and a half since she's been teasing this project, I do want to say I actually really like the fact that she released this a little bit after SOS, because SOS released in what, 2021 I think? 2022 actually, let me mind mine. I know some people may complain about, deluxes are generally, this point in time released, maybe like a month or two afterwards. Like I know Doja for Planet Her released the deluxe like damn near the next day. And this also goes into a point of, I know so many leaks were happening. I know SZA was putting out a bunch of teasers, a bunch of little promos. Like I know she did like a bunch of, there was like a bunch of leaks that happened around this project. Some of these songs like Diamond Boy have been circulating for quite a while. And I'll say it like this, I am so glad that SZA actually waited enough time, because I'm not gonna lie, the way that I listen to music seems a lot older than I actually am. Like I'm such an albums girl. Like I really want to sit down and listen to a full body of work. I don't like listening to leaks. I don't like looking at leaks. Give me one, maybe two singles before the project and I'm good. That's all I need. 3-4 singles is ridiculous before the project. I love to sit down and listen to a full body of work because that's what the artist intended. I love listening to the journey of the album and the project itself. So all that to say is that I actually really do like that SZA waited about a year or two for this project to come out, because it gave enough time for SOS to do its own thing, for the songs and everything to sink in before she released more music. And considering this album is what, 15 new songs, I think that's actually pretty good. And it's not like what happened with Control where she released 5 years later. I'll say this, although I do really like SOS, there's not a SZA project that I don't like. I will say for me, one of the appeals of SZA, especially going through her mixtapes before Control came out, was the sonic identity of SZA. SZA really played around with a lot of really interesting sounds and alt sounding sounds throughout her music that I really appreciated from her. And I love the direction and idea of SOS. It feels more cinematic a little bit. It feels more intimate, a little bit more personable. But I will say sonically, it didn't grab me as much as songs from like Control or from her mixtapes and things like that. And this right here, Lana, feels like a really good evolution from the sound of Control mixed with the idea of what SOS was. And that's one of the things I want to touch on first, sonically, what this project is like. Even aside from the sounds that are similar to Control and SOS, what I really liked about this project was it really kind of brought me back to the sounds and identity that SZA had in her mixtape days. Songs like Kitchen and Love Me For Me really made me reminisce on SZA's sound when she first started in the industry. So yeah, I really like that we got a bit of a return to form when it came to SZA's sound, and I think a good marker of a new project and how successful it is in terms of the music itself. If there are tracks on the album that you didn't know how you live without for so long, I think that's a good marker, and there are some songs on this project that are generally some of my favorite in her discography. Of course, we get typical SZA-isms, like Baduism. Well, now we have SZA-ism, especially with the lyrics, and this is also something that I want to bring up real quick. Something that really goes to show how strong SZA's brand is that no matter what the production, what the instrumental is doing, if it's stripped back, pop, alt, or even ballad, SZA will always stay true to her unique sound and style when it comes to her lyrics and lyrical content. And there is something about the lyrics that I also do want to point out. This conversation has been going on like literally since Control, I think. This idea that, people can't relate to SZA's lyrics because she's so insecure or talks about her insecurities a lot. And, people don't want to listen to that because it's like low vibration or something like that. And while I do understand the points being made, like, the content and media that sometimes you consume can sometimes have an impact on your conscious and how you, view the world, perceive the world. I think that does kind of remove some of the nuances when it comes to SZA's lyrics. SZA has always been open and honest about her emotional and mental insecurities, instability, and complexity. And especially in the beginning of her career, around the time Control came out, really mainstream SZA, that's one of the things that was really able to speak to a lot of people's souls and kind of taking the ideas and thoughts and some of the feelings and insecurities that people may have that they don't really want to always talk about, and kind of like being open and honest about that. This vulnerability to talk about the darkest, messiest, and sometimes the most contradicting statements. But the thing about it is that SZA's lyrics usually feature some kind of conflict between polarizing ideas. This idea of deep insecurity and vulnerability and lack of security of oneself mixed with the desire to protect oneself and the security of self-love, while also talking about her own confidence, her own convictions, and how she won't let somebody do her dirty. I think it's some of these contradictions that really goes to hit people's soul, and some of the highlights on the album for me is Diamond Boy, BMF, Scorsese Baby Daddy, My Turn, Kitchen, Get Behind Me, and my personal favorite, Love Me For Me. My Turn really feels lyrically like an upgraded version of SZA's opening track for her debut EP, both songs talking about seeking revenge and taking pleasure in it. Kitchen talks about how despite having so much history and memories with somebody, not letting them fuck you over. Love Me For Me talks about wanting to be loved for the real her, thinking about giving up on everything, her name, her fame for this person. And although Saturn was released a little while beforehand, I think it's a perfect cap to end off the Deluxe as it touches on your Saturn return, karma, growing older, and wondering what the larger point in life is. And the last thing I want to touch on is the album cover. I've heard some complaints about the album cover, and I thank God every day that these artists don't listen to y'all. Because although some of the other, covers that she teased before are good in and of itself as well, I think this is objectively better. Sorry. One, the whole bug identity thing, brilliant, love it. I love it so much. Like, give me persona, during this era I will be this thing. I love it so much, and it really helps make the whole like her going on to Hot Ones in the bug mask and everything, it helps that make sense more. Also, we don't even have to get into the dynamic posing. I'm sorry, some of them other ones were fine, but like the posing in here is dynamic. Like it's just tickling the art student brain within me. Like it's just like the dynamic posing. I love that. I also like the contrast with the deep blue sky, the very dark green grass, and the color of the outfit, which I really want to get into for just a second. Now, I don't know if this was her intention, but the way that I perceive that, along with the whole bug identity with this whole era, as a lot of us know, when it comes to nature, things that are generally considered bright, colorful, are generally considered poisonous. And I think that this perfectly encapsulates SZA in this whole era, this whole bug era, just this poisonous bug. Not to be an astrology girly, but she is a Scorpio, and that does also make sense with that. And it really makes sense with the lyrics too. Like I said, I don't know if that was her intention with the color of the costume, but even so, just the idea of the contrasting dark background with this bright pop of yellow, I think really adds to the idea of this project. I do think 15 tracks is a bit absurd for a Deluxe, like that's an entirely new album, babes. But you know what? But for the most part, these songs are generally really good that I don't even mind that. There are some songs that I'm kind of indifferent to, but for me, I think some of the standout ones really help bring this project together. But yeah, in conclusion, do I think this is a good follow-up for SOS, and do I think this is a good project? Yes, I do. I really do. Like I said, I really like the sound of this project. I think it's sonically a good mixture between Control and SOS, while also infusing some of her older sounds. And I think it's better than SOS. I'm sorry, it is. And going forward, I think if SZA really wants to continue making albums, I think this is a good direction to go into. But yeah, those are my thoughts about Lana SOS Deluxe. And for it being only really like a year and a half, maybe 2 years after SOS, I feel like this was, especially the fact that it's 15 songs, I think it does live up to the hype. And while not every song was like 100% for me, I don't think there was a single bad song on this project. But yeah, that'll be it for me. If you would like to follow me on social media, I'll have it posted up on the screen, and I have more videos coming for you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching, if you indeed still are, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.